welcome to another Ryan Sports Views. Tonight I'm reviewing Toronto FC 2, Philadelphia Union 2. Toronto FC draws, and they clinch the fact they will not win the wooden spoon this year. Cincinnati will win their third straight with this draw. So, good job, Toronto, and thank you, Nashville. And Nashville's back in second in the East because we helped them. So they helped us, we helped them. So that's great. Goals were scored as follows. In the first minute, Alejandro Bedoya, ball gets crossed in, defense doing nothing. I don't know what the hell Toronto was doing here. 30 seconds in, they allow a goal. Alejandro Bedoya scores it, 1-0 Philadelphia. That's the way it would go into the half. Jozy Altidore in the 66th minute, ball bounces off Noble Okello after a cross, cleared out, bounces into Noble Okello, bounces right to Jozy Altidore. He takes a curling finish past Matt Freese in the stead of Andre Blake, due to Andre Blake tending to his family due to the passing of his grandmother. All well wishes goes to Andre Blake and his family. We all love you, and well wishes to you. But it's 1-1 Toronto FC, or 1-1 draw. Then Jack Elliott with an own goal off a Jacob Schaffelberg cross in the 70th minute. Pops it past Matt Freese, but even if it wasn't an own goal, Jozy would have scored that 2-1 TFC. And then in the 77th minute, Sergio Santos gets the ball, crossed in, header, free header against Chris Mavinga. I don't know what Chris Mavinga was doing there at all. He was just standing there. Sergio Santos puts it off the post and in to make it 2-2. That's the way this match would end. That is a draw for Toronto FC. 1 point puts them at 27 on the season. Of course, Cincinnati can only get 6 more due to that loss, so we do not finish last. There is no chance of that. That is great. So, here's the stats. They are as follows. 15 shots to 15, 3 shots on target to 4, 60% possession to 40% possession, 653 passes to 438 passes, 86% pass accuracy to 78% pass accuracy, 9 fouls to 14, 1 yellow card to 1, 0 red card to 0, 0 offside, or 1 offside to 0, 6 corners to 4. Toronto FC honestly was the better team tonight. By far. They were honestly the better team. Philadelphia Union got an early goal and then a spawny header. But other than that, I can't say Toronto was bad tonight. They had more chances. They should have won by 2 or 3, honestly. Okay, 2. 4-2. They had so many good chances. Jozy should have scored another. That was amazing, that goal that he scored. Toronto was just the better team, honestly, tonight. You could say, but Philly scored the first goal, then they scored a goal in the 70th minute to tie it up. That scoreline flattered them. The scoreline flattered the Philadelphia Union. And I said there was going to be a draw tonight. I didn't expect that after they allowed 1:30 seconds in. I'm like, yeah, I was wrong. I just wanted the point to clinch not finishing last. Well, we got that point. And thank Nashville for beating the tires off of Cincinnati after it was like, hey, you're close. Got to be quicker than that. You almost had it. Got to be quicker than that. Then puts 3 in 9 minutes to help them lose, and it gets them second. We don't finish last, as in Nashville second. We don't finish last. Philly falls down. It was a good night except for Forge, because they lost to Montreal in the Canadian Championship semifinal on penalties. So the Canadian Championship final will have Montreal in it. We just don't know if it'll be Toronto or Pacific. I think it will be Toronto, and hopefully it's in Toronto. But then, again, knowing Canada soccer, Canadian soccer, Canada soccer, they're going to probably put it at BMO Field, probably. And we'll see what happens there. So I think we could beat Montreal. Because honestly, if we drew them and they almost got held, they got shut down by Forge, we'll beat them. But that's not about what's about tonight. This is about Toronto-Philly. What a good game by TFC. They honestly deserved more. They deserved all 3 points. Philly just honestly didn't really show up. I mean, they showed up, and defensively they were great, but offensively there was nothing besides Sergio Santos and Alejandro Bedoya, and honestly on 2 goals that were very horrible defensive mistakes. Toronto was pretty good besides those 2 moments. And it's honestly the story of the season, honestly. Sergio Santos was great there, but then you look at the Alejandro Bedoya goal. How do you let that one in? Alex Bono, I'd understand, but Quentin Westberg, he lets that in? I know defensively they had Bradley at the back, which honestly doesn't help much, considering he ain't as much better than Omar or Zavaleta, so that is what it is. But Toronto did what they had to do to draw, and they played well in the second half. The team talk worked, I'd have to say, but the first half they should have scored a goal there too. If you really paid attention, which you probably didn't consider, look at the attendance at BMO Field, you could be like, yeah, barely anybody were there. Yeah, no, it wasn't. No. They were either watching at home or watching Forge or at Tim Hortons Field or something like that, right? I don't think many people paid attention, so I'm going to have to be good at this one. But with that being said, Toronto were the better team. They honestly were. I think the scoreline flattered Philadelphia. They did. It did. Defensively, Philadelphia was great. But offensively, Montero, not great. Brujo Martinez defended well. Didn't see much offensively. Sergio Santos, their best striker. Kasper Shabilko proves why he's hated by some of the Dupe podcast crew. He is. Even though he's Mr. Golden Boot in the Champions League, he could still win the Golden Boot tomorrow night if Maximiliano Mesa doesn't score 2 goals in the final. Kasper Shabilko will still win the Champions League Golden Boot if that does not happen. Crazy, right? I wonder if he's going to go down to Monterrey so he could receive his trophy, or they're just going to say, or whatever, I don't know in Spanish, but Golden Boot, Kasper Shabilko. He's still leading. He's still leading. Didn't score any goals against America. Still leading. That's kind of weird, ain't it? And if Maximiliano Mesa doesn't score 2 goals against Club America in the final, Shabilko could still win the Golden Boot of the Champions League this year. I mean, that's something. That's nice, you know. With that being said, I can see why he's hated. That he did not look great. Put a ball over. Westberg with a point-blank stop on him. Great match by Quentin Westberg, I think. Defensively, Toronto did about the same as they did against Montreal. Some really bad mistakes, but overall, good enough. Overall, good enough. So you know what, honestly, just play Michael Bradley at the back for the rest of the season and let Okello and Delgado run the defensive midfield. I honestly think that's a good idea. Offensively, Schaffelberg looked great. Pozuelo looked amazing. This was his best game of the season. And ironically, without Soteldo. So maybe they just don't work well together. Maybe that is a true hypothesis. Maybe they don't work well together. Also, Jaquil Marshall-Ruddy looked good. I liked the way he played. I liked the way Okello played. I liked the way Alro and Lawrence played. That was good. Josie Altidore looked amazing tonight, honestly. Yeah, he didn't run sometimes, but he still did enough. He could have scored 2 goals. If that own goal wasn't an own goal, he would have scored a brace. So, honestly, you know what? I'll give Josie man of the match. Josie Altidore is the man of the match for me tonight for Toronto FC. Again, he could have scored a brace had that not been a Jack Elliott own goal that would have got to him. He would have put it away. So, 1.5 goals. Let's give it to him. 1.5 goals. Josie Altidore, man of the match. Toronto FC should have won this match. They will not finish last in the league this year. The Wooden Spoon will go to FC Cincinnati. Play Gloria. We're doing fine. It's all good over here. With that being said, Toronto FC should have won this match. Philadelphia did not look great tonight offensively. Defensively, they looked fine. Offensively, not so much. And Toronto made their luck and also gave away 3 points, but they honestly made their luck as well. So with that being said, can you really be mad about that? Can you really be mad about that? We're not finishing last. And we could still play well against a team who's around a high level in the Eastern Conference. So, with that being said, we should be able to beat Montreal in the Canadian Championship Final if we beat Pacific, which honestly, Pacific is nowhere near as good as Philly or Montreal. They're a good team under Pamoduka. They're a good team. But honestly, though, and we'll see what happens against Atlanta as well. In Atlanta. If we could stay close, I think we beat Pacific next Wednesday. And then we'll see what happens against DC. And then we'll see what I think about Montreal, Toronto in the Canadian Championship Final if that ends up being the final. But I honestly feel good about that. I feel positive right now, and that's the good thing about this. I feel positive. So with that being said, if you like this video, like it, share, subscribe. You know what it is. Tell all your friends. Check out my Patreon, $5, $10, or $20 a month. Anything's appreciated. Help support the channel. Be awesome if you do. Also support by liking, sharing, commenting, hitting that notification bell after you subscribe. Super chats on the live streams. Those are well appreciated. Putting this in playlists, sharing this with your friends and family, and all of that great stuff. Tomorrow I have a live watch along, an RSR for the Scotiabank CONCACAF Champions League Final 2021, CF Monterrey Rayados versus Club America. I hope you join. It's going to be a big one. If my preview's anything to go by, it's going to be a big one. I hope you enjoy. I'll see you there tomorrow. It's going to be a fun night, and we'll have some fun. So with that being said, I'm Ryan, and I'm out. Peace. See you soon.